This episode of the Rocker Skating Podcast is brought to you by John Wilson Blades. For more than 329 years, John Wilson has been perfecting the art of blade making in Sheffield, England. And while their history runs deep, their eyes are always on the future. That's why they created the Revolution, the world's most advanced figure skating blade. It is the perfect fusion of centuries-old craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology, delivering unmatched precision, responsiveness, and performance. That's why the majority of world and Olympic champions trust John Wilson. Because when history meets innovation, you get the revolution. Well, welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast, sponsored by John Wilson Blades. It is Finlandia Trophy Week and Warsaw Cup Week. Hi, Michelle. Have you caught up to everything yet?
Hi, Jackie. I'm traumatized. I'm a little bit too caught up this time, and it's been a weekend.
It was the first day of Finlandia Trophy. I just had my jaw to the floor for the most of it, and I couldn't deal.
Yeah, I mean, Ice Dance Technical Panel, when I find you, we're gonna have a conversation.
Yes, let's talk about that. We will talk about
gosh.
that, but we're gonna diffuse some of this energy first, and let's talk about Warsaw Cup.
Okay.
This is interesting, right? Because we haven't seen the Challenger Series come back for a while. We were hot and heavy with the Challenger Series earlier in the season, and then obviously when Grand Prix Series is happening, they kind of like switch off, and now the Challenger Series is back on. This week is Warsaw Cup. Next week is Tallinn Trophy. The following week, during Grand Prix Final, will be Golden Spin. So really kind of exciting next couple of weeks. Just because the Grand Prix Series is now done doesn't mean there's not going to be a lot of skating, because there's a lot of skating happening in the next few weeks before the end of the year. So Warsaw Cup, we're back. Let's quickly talk about the pairs, because Warsaw Cup was not a Challenger Series event for pairs. So understandably, there weren't that many pairs that were there. Originally, Anastasia Golubieva and Hector Giaptopoulos Moore were supposed to have done Warsaw Cup, and not surprisingly, given what they've been talking about with their citizenship things, they withdrew. And or they just didn't come. I don't know which one it was. They are coming, or they are on the list for Golden Spin.
Yeah.
So we will see if that is happening. There is a likelihood. I mean, we were just talking about this, Michelle. There is a likelihood that there are multiple pairs or multiple countries with pair spots that will have to give up their pair spots.
Yeah.
Because of stuff like
lots
this.
of question marks this year, so it'll be interesting to see.
More question marks than we thought there were going to be, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later on in the season. So for the pairs, Diana Stellato and Maxime Deschamps wins very handily. Vaipan Law and Digby were second. McBeath and Parkman were third. Stellato, Deschamps, they were like, we just want another competition before we go to the final. I think they also
another
wanted
competition.
We'll just do more competitions.
Yeah.
They did skate their best scoring short program of the season, the 76. And then their free skate was a bit of a mess.
They had some solo jump issues, to put it mildly.
I mean, the interesting thing about their solo jumps is somehow this year they completely got off sync. I think it sounded like maybe Max had like switched techniques going into their jumps or something to that effect. And at this event, in the free skate, Deanna was saying she basically fell on her 3-turn going into the triple toe.
I caught her heel and fell backwards.
And I think she was so conscious of Max's jump and getting in sync with Max's jump that she wasn't paying attention to her own. So I think it's a continued tweak on their end. And their sows have always been kind of squeaked out. So I think
Mhm.
those will continue to be the things that they will be watching out for especially now that their throws have gotten more consistent.
Mhm.
So that was pairs. Let's get the men because this was the men was an interesting set of skaters.
Yeah.
Vladimir Samoylov beats Lukas Brycki, and it wasn't even like it. Vladimir Samoylov skated very well and hit a
Yeah.
240 for his total score.
Yeah, he won both segments. He's got the power.
He has got the power. He's a bit of a crowd pleaser in a lot of ways because he's a bit of like a cult favorite
Mhm.
because of the like gigantic jumps that he has. But two, because he's a little nonchalant about his like choreography, and he's got this like sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, but like he's got this unassuming swagger about his
Yeah.
skating that I think people really like. So
Yeah.
Lukas Brycki had some mistakes, ended up second. He was supposed to run away with this thing, and he
Mhm.
didn't. Sammy Hammy
Who is
from
that?
France.
I don't know him. He's an
He
amazing
has
name.
Sammy Hammy,
Yeah.
um, which I'm probably saying wrong,
Maybe
but
Hami? Sami Hami? I don't
Sammy
know.
Hammy something. He's been on the French scene for a couple of years, and
Mm.
I think he was junior last few years. Am I getting this wrong? Um, no, he's been a seniors for a bit. Ninth last year
Mm.
at senior nationals, and this year he's been doing a pretty good job. I mean, silver at NRW trophies, silver at um, Coupe de Nice. Like,
Oh, good for him.
yeah, he's potentially someone to watch out for at nationals for that third spot. I mean, we've been
Mm.
talking about the third spot and the third spot for worlds, that
Mhm.
is, being Luc Economide and
Mhm.
Francois Pitot, right?
Mhm.
I mean, based on what Sammy Hammy has been doing, this is
Mhm.
there's potential there. That was the men. Uh, for the women, ooh, we're gonna talk about more Canadian women later on this episode because there's another Canadian woman who was competing this
Mhm.
week. But what was it, last week or a couple weeks ago? Gabby Daleman posted a 181 at Ice Challenge, and we were like, she's the first Canadian woman this season to go over 180 points.
Yeah.
Watch out. And then
We
Sarah
found
Maud
another one.
Dupuis
Yeah, and
comes
her triple axel.
comes with her triple axel and gets a 185
Good for
and
her.
wins Warsaw Cup. I mean,
I think this is their first international win, which is awesome. I mean,
very awesome.
yeah, and with a triple axel, which is just, I think, a first for Canadian women.
Yeah,
Is that the first one
this is
internationally?
for real the first one,
Yeah.
because Skate Canada sort of like jumped the gun and called the one that she did in the last international the first
Yeah.
one when she
Yeah.
stepped out of it. So this one was she landed right after the quarter.
Mhm.
So it was called clean, and and she put it on one foot. So um, I mean, really good for her. Up
Mhm.
until this year, she's only ever gotten one other medal internationally, and that was bronze at Tallinn Trophy last year.
Wow.
So
That's so
big
exciting.
big win for Sarah Maud.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple of Italian women who were trying to figure out how to get more points.
This Italian women result is crazy.
Yeah, Marina Piretta. Who
Yeah.
would have
Who?
thought? I mean, she was around a few years ago,
Yeah.
and we all thought that Marina Piretta would become, at least somebody who's consistently on the scene, and then
Mhm.
she sort of became inconsistent. And then she comes here and wins the silver. Mia Risa Gomez, who a lot of people really like,
Mhm.
was coached by Agnes Zawatsky,
Mhm.
um, gets the bronze 160, 196. Serena Joes gets fourth. And then Anna Pizeta, having the worst competition of her season,
Wow.
gets
Wow.
seventh here.
Yeah. It's rough.
Yeah. So it was an interesting kind of group of the Italian women here going for really trying to score the points. We'll talk about
Hmm.
this when we go to the men for the for Finlandia Trophy, but we found new facts about the Olympic selection criteria for
Mm.
the Italian skaters, and I will talk about it more in a bit.
Yeah. I don't really think they're going to be that relevant when it comes to the women because we
No,
have someone way out in the front and
that is
it's,
that is very correct. But
yeah.
Europeans is still a
Yeah.
big part of this.
Yeah.
Okay, ice dance.
Dance was interesting.
In a complete contrast
Yeah.
to Finlandia Trophy, which we will talk about soon,
We got
we
some
had
good
some
scores.
big scores
Yeah.
at Warsaw Cup. Laparieva Brissot goes over 200 for the first time this season internationally, 202.06,
Awesome.
and wins it.
They deserve it. They skated really well. I mean, yeah, good for them. Uh,
Lim and Kwan get a 190, like by
mhm.
far the biggest score
Mhm.
they've ever gotten. It gets to silver. Green and Parsons was in very good position to, I think, really make a statement.
Yeah, they could have gotten a huge free dance score, but
They really,
Caroline had a very surprising and out of nowhere fall in her twizzles. This team's a little jinxed this
I
year.
mean,
But
hopefully they've gotten all the Twizzle jinx out of the way
yeah. But
because
Bratty
that was a new one.
Somerville skated great. They were fourth. They were second in the free dance, and they got a 187.
Yeah,
And that's a lot of redemption after their very weird Grand Prix season where they were just so underscored.
completely
Yeah.
strange. I mean, Green and Parsons. So she fell and basically got the entire
Hmm.
Twizzle sequence invalidated because she fell so early in it.
Yeah.
Um, and they got 2 points and a fall deduction. So they got
Hmm.
1 point for that element, which means they would have, they basically lost 8 points.
Yeah, they would have been second, and they would have been a lot closer to the French.
Yeah, they
Hmm.
would have been 180, 197 or
Hmm.
so, and maybe their components would have been even higher. They would have been
Hmm.
in 197, 199 territory. Like,
They're very close to a 200.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, these Challenger Series dance competitions are always a little bit like there's sometimes when you
Hmm.
see these like huge scores and a lot because of the strictness slash leniency of the panels and what they
Hmm.
call. So that was top three
Yeah.
plus Bratty Somerville.
Yeah. I want to mention the Swedish team, Mila Rudreitan and Nikolai Meyerhoff, who had a really weird shoulder dislocation by Mila in the rhythm dance. And I watched it a couple times, and I feel like she did it just by dancing vigorously and the way she was moving her arms. Like she didn't have a fall, and it popped out, and then she was like really trying to get it back in. And they finished the program. And I mean, this is like if Yuko Kawaguchi was giving out medals for shoulder insanity, they would get it because this was crazy. They did lifts after she popped a lift after she popped it back in, finished the program. So I'm guessing this has happened to her before because this was like,
Yeah,
but they ended up withdrawing and not doing the free dance. But I hope they get well soon. They're the first alternates to the Olympics, and I really hope that they're going to be there. So
I
um,
know.
get well, get well soon, Mila.
Get well soon. I mean, it's funny how many times Yuko Kawaguchi has been mentioned on this podcast because
Mm-hmm.
of dislocating shoulders.
Legend of Kawaguchi.
So yeah, well, sending our best wishes to a fast recovery for Rayton, for Mila Rayton.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, let's talk about the craziness. Should we take a deep breath on this one?
Yeah.
There's a lot to say. Okay, we're gonna go straight to the dance and get it out
Okay.
of the way.
I have a lot of things to say. I wanna get some, like, little things out of the way first. The Tashlers getting new costumes. A plus, they look great, especially Natalie's costume in the rhythm dance. She was in, like, white or light pink before, like, you couldn't even see her. The pink costume is fabulous. The panel or the who is it that plays the music? The person playing the music
The
played the wrong
music operator.
the music operator played the wrong music for them in the rhythm dance. And I guess this had been a recurring issue where they couldn't get it uploaded. They played the wrong music in practice and everything. And then the wrong music plays in competition. And they just like figured it out. You know, they were so mad at the end, but I didn't realize during the performance. So I think didn't skate as well as they would have liked to have, but I think handled that well. and their coach, Maurizio Margalio, was very much like, "You did it!" They were like,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
Yeah.
I wanna mention Davis and Smolkin changing the middle piece of their rhythm dance music again. Um, I okay.
I liked it better the first change.
Yes, the first change. Okay, so now they're skating to "Come Out and Play" by The Offspring, and they've slowed it down so that it sounds like when you're having one of those dreams where you're trying to run and you can't run, like, that's what it sounds like. And I don't know if because they're very young, they don't realize that this song is incredibly popular and was on the radio and, like, anyone
Yeah.
our age knows it. So
Yeah.
hearing this, I'm like, "What is going on? This is so weird." So, go back. Their
It
free
was
dance was amazing, though.
it was like when Fear and Gibson slowed down
Oh my god.
uh
Yeah.
Spice Up Your Life, and
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Why would you do that?" And then they
Yeah.
unslowed it.
Yeah, they
So,
did. It's like
you
you're
know,
asleep and you, like, are trying to run away and you can't move, and you're just like, "Ugh," and it's,
y
like, stressful.
look, Diana and Gleb, if you're listening to this, please go back to the cut that you
Yeah,
had.
whichever Offspring song it was. Also, the idea of, like, Marie-France Dubré, like, going through the Offspring's discography and listening to different pieces of music makes me laugh so much.
Okay, I do have to say, I I continue to appreciate Davis and Smokin so much for how they, and maybe this is something that they have chosen to do very deliberately after a couple
Mhm,
of years of people being like, you shouldn't be scoring as high as you do, right? Like,
mhm,
which was true 4 years ago.
mhm,
And ever since they've moved to Montreal, they have really, one, improved, especially Diana Davis, on just basics. And then two, they have deliberately made choices to stand out as
mhm,
with unique elements in their programs,
mhm.
and their lifts were just so cool.
So cool. That curve lift in their free dance was crazy cool.
I mean,
So
he's
cool.
on a right back outside edge hydroblade on
Mhm.
one foot while she's balancing on top of him.
On one hand.
On what I,
Crazy.
it's and they don't get enough credit for stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, ding them for flat edges and stuff, but like
Mhm,
you gotta give credit where credit's due,
mhm,
and those lifts are fantastic.
mhm,
They ended up sixth, right behind the Shibutanis,
mhm.
who did definitely look better
Yeah, they
this
had
this
some
time
changes
around.
to their free dance I thought were good. They re-choreographed the 1-foot turns, modified some of the choreographic elements. I still think they look quite slow in that program, but, yeah, I mean, working on things, scores went up a little bit. I think they're on the right track heading into nationals where who knows what will happen.
I don't want to
Yeah.
know.
But I think the the overarching story of the dance event was the insane calls by the technical panel who
You think?
in the trend of like Skate America and like Skate Canada were very, 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 very strict. Strict to the point where the skaters were like, what is going on? Like Piper and Guillaume both like spoke to the media and were like, this is not acceptable. It's like disrespectful. You're treating us like we're juniors. Um, so Laurence Fournier-Beaudry and Guillaume Cizeron, they won both segments. They won this event. That in itself is great, but their scores were so low. They got so many technical calls and so many weird things happening. I want to mention their serpentine step sequence in the free dance, where they both got level 1. And I just want to say if those turns aren't clean, what is a clean turn? Because like and it's like frustrating to me how good they are. Like I just can never believe it when they are so good. They skate so close together. They're so clean. It's just like they're like on another level that's unbelievable. And then they're getting hammered with all this stuff. It's like, what do you guys want? I mean, this is like godly, and you're just giving it a 1, reviewing it down.
So, yeah, I mean, Mark Hanratty and I were texting about this and having
Yeah,
a bit of a conversation during the
Mark had a
event.
big weekend.
And what I will say is the reason these things are being called is less about the depth of the edges going into turns and out of turns. It
Mhm,
is literally where the edge is at the cusp of the turn. We talked
mm,
about this a few weeks ago where about like the jumping of turns, right? It's that's where
Mhm.
your blade basically kind of comes off the ice like ever so slightly, and
Mhm.
you jump the cusp of the turn. This is not that, but this is the fact that at some point in your turn, you have to lilt upward in your
Mhm.
body movements so that your body then initiates the turn, right? And when you do a change of edge turn, right? Like when you go from an outside edge to inside edge or inside edge to outside edge, right?
Mhm.
And when you change edges, it becomes very difficult to not then go on a flat right
Mhm.
before you change edges. And then really the one that is probably the easiest to not go on a flat on is the
Mhm.
rocker skating podcast. Um, but the one that is a same edge to same edge that is actually very hard to keep
Mhm.
is the bracket.
Yeah, nobody gets brackets.
Brackets are so like there's a reason why in single skating you see falls on brackets all the
Mhm.
time. What like when there's a fall in a step sequence, I don't know, 50% of the time it's probably a bracket.
Mhm.
It's because brackets are ridiculous.
Mhm.
They're not fun to do. They are much easier to do when you are not going fast.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons that these turns end up you watch you watch the lobes and you're like, wow, they're really deep into their edges, and then they get
Mhm.
called a one of the reasons why this panel specifically is calling them not clean is because they're going into the cusp, not on an edge. And the faster you skate, the harder it is for you to
Mhm.
control that without basically like doing a Rion Sumiyoshi like flip off your edge fall.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
god, poor
like
girl.
like that kind of stuff just happens
Yeah.
when you are too deep and
Yeah.
you're not able to actually initiate the turn. Um, so there's a lot to that, and
It's too strict.
this
You
panel
can't
was
do it
very
in
strict on
you
that.
can't do it in competition. I mean, they're not doing figures. They're trying to skate a program. If they were out there doing these elements and figures, they'd be clean.
And to the point of figures, like if anybody's ever watched a figures event, they are going so slowly.
Yeah.
And it's not to a beat. It's not, whatever. Like it's anyway, it's a lot to be said.
I'm trying to think. I wanna say it was the '72 Olympics. There's an incredible
72
so
Olympic.
we had this awesome producer at
Wow.
ABC, and his name was Doug Wilson, and he was a director, and he loved, who was 2nd in '72? He loved her.
And oh, for the women.
Annette
Dykstra? That's 72?
but I found a video of her doing figures shot by Japanese television at the Olympics, and it was unbelievable because you would not know that this was, like, 1972. I mean, it looked like
It
today.
was like
It was
beautiful.
amazing, yes. God knows what size of equipment they had doing that, but,
Wow,
um
I'm totally wrong. Karen Magnuson was second in
no, that was not
1972.
hers. Let me see. We are in a rabbit hole.
I know.
Let me see.
Somebody's going to text me and be like, "Dykstra won the gold medal in 1964. How dare you? 8 years." I mean, it was
No, you know
Beatrix
what? I think it
Schuba.
was the winner, Beatrix Schuba, I think he was
Mhm.
so obsessed with, yeah. But he always talked about her figures, and I remember I found a video of her doing them, and they were just,
Well,
unbelievable.
she did win compulsory figures.
Yeah.
So,
I'll find that, and I'll send it to you, and you can tweet it out for anybody who wants to nerd out over figures. But,
figures.
yeah, they're so slow, and this is like and also to change this mid Grand Prix in the Olympic season, do it next year. You know, you wanna be this strict? Do it next year.
Yeah. I mean, trust me in
Yeah.
that the in the next competition, the calls are gonna be very different.
Well, it's interesting because things usually even out at the Grand Prix final.
Yeah.
The other thing that was they were so strict about was in the rhythm dance, they called Fournier Boudry and Cizerone's opening choreography as their choreographic rhythm sequence,
Yep.
which clearly was not their element plan, and the judges were all confused by it. None of them entered GOE on it. at first. They were like, "Wait, what?"
Like, what?
And I haven't gotten a clear answer on exactly why this happened, but I think it's because they started so close to the boards. They were so far past center. So they saw, oh, it's barrier to barrier. The other thing I was thinking is there's a pattern limit, like a pattern rule in the rhythm dance, and you can only cross the long axis twice for the like choreographic in the middle for like the choreographic rhythm sequence and the midline step. But I
It's a it's all crazy.
it's like and the thing is, you're the technical panel, you know you're gonna do this. Maybe you tell someone so that the team doesn't go out there and just whiff this element? Like, what why I thought we were supposed to do things in the best interest of the athletes.
Like,
Anyway.
there was just I mean, they even, like, literally put it into their program elements
Yeah,
as the last thing that they do.
yeah.
There's something about that that just, like, it sits with me really wrong.
Mhm,
It's not like somebody like, in single skating, sometimes it happens where you, like, pick in for, like, a toe loop, and then you
mhm,
don't end up leaving the ice, and then they call it a
mhm.
jump, and that happens,
Yeah.
and that's the thing.
Set
It's
up your axle and
yeah,
then not do it.
and then not do it.
Yeah.
0A, and,
Mhm.
but this was not it. It was
Yeah.
literally choreography. Like, I there's a lot you can say
Mhm.
about Fournier Beaudry and Cicerone's rhythm dance, but that as a choreographic sequence, they literally were doing that for 5 seconds. Like, you
Yeah.
cannot it doesn't even look like a choreo sequence. It
It
looks like
felt
choreo.
yeah, like, deliberately malicious.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was
It was rough.
I was remembering in Sochi when, Ashley Wagner did her free skate, they entered 3 flips as her in her program. Like, the caller was like, "Flip, flip, flip," and so there's 3 flips, so she was losing credit for the 3rd one. And they went back and fixed it, and the one that was supposed to be a Lutz, they changed to 3 Lutz E. They didn't say, "Oh, I saw 3 flips, so you don't get the 3rd one."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a lot.
there's a lot of
This
energy
this
expended
by
on
the
this dance event.
oh, so much energy, and it was the last thing that we saw in the first day, and
Mhm,
basically and it was the first thing that we saw in the rhythm dance, so
mhm.
I spent the entire first group trying to figure out
Yeah,
what happened.
yeah,
Anyway, the interesting thing was Raskova and Rajek also got a similar call last
mhm,
year at Skate America,
mhm,
and I watched their Skate America rhythm dance where their opening choreography, they got called
mhm,
a character step or a choreo step,
mhm,
and then watched the Grand Prix de France version, which is the one where they apparently fixed it, and it looks fairly similar. They
mhm,
were just a little bit closer to the judges, and to
mhm.
your point about the long axis, maybe that's what it is, but also it's just ridiculous.
Can't you just, like, give them a warning or something the way they give you a warning when the music beat is off? It's, like,
Yeah, I don't
so
know.
punitive.
It is what it is. That is to say,
Mhm.
the standings ended up being the standings. It's just the point totals were not as
Yeah.
high as
I think the
they otherwise
standings
would
are
have been.
probably right, but
Um, Fournier Beaudry wins it
mhm,
204, Gilles Poirier 202. The two of them
mhm,
get into the Grand Prix
mhm.
final.
This whole
And
podium's
then
going to the final.
Zingas Kolesnik.
Yeah.
They needed to be bronze here with a certain score,
Mhm,
and they got bronze
mhm,
with a high enough score to break the
mhm,
tie between them and Le Droit Laga,
mhm.
and they go to the final.
And kind of unbelievable. I don't think Igor Spielman has smiled so much in the last 20 years. Every time I've seen him this season with them, he is just, like, beaming.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially Amelia Zingas
Yeah,
was over the moon. I mean,
yeah,
I was messaging with her, and she just
mhm,
it was just like brain explosion emojis
yeah,
going back and forth. It was
yeah,
she was very excited about being able to get into the final,
mhm,
and this changes the game. Like,
mhm,
it is now them and Shock and Bates for the U.S. going to the final,
mhm,
and it is not Carrera Ponomarenko. It is not Green and Parsons, right? It
yeah,
is not Bratty Somerville. This gives them a very different kind of cred going into U.S. nationals.
mhm,
And at some point in the next month, we'll talk about the U.S. national selection process because it is, like many other countries, parts of it is based on adding up scores from the season,
Mhm.
and also adding up scores from specific competitions of the season, like the Grand Prix Final, and those things count quite a bit. So
I'm pretty sure this is the first time this Olympic cycle that 2 American teams have qualified for the final.
Carrera Ponomarenko hasn't?
Mm-mm.
Why
No,
did
I
I
just
think
pulled
that
up
they
their,
have?
ISU bio. I mean, they haven't won medals at both of their events, uh, in a season except last year. Last year, they were, 2nd and 3rd at their events, but they did not qualify. I think they were the alternate.
Mm,
They've been to the JGP final a couple times, but not the Grand Prix final.
that's interesting.
Mhm.
My brain has been revisionist historying this whole thing.
Mhm.
I swear they've been in the Grand Prix final and they haven't. Um, so that's interesting. Okay, well, that was Ice Dance. We could do an extended episode about this whole thing and
Oh,
still be talking for two
I have
hours.
one more ice dance comment.
What is the one
Olivia
more?
Smart's core strength is unbelievable. That choreo lift at the end of their free dance, I was like, I would just be hanging there by my armpits. She just like pulls herself right up. She's amazing.
She's literally doing a headstand on his back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like without much of like a support
Yeah.
is
Crazy. I love
crazy.
Dune too. It's good.
Okay, well,
Okay.
if you have one more, I also have one more.
Okay.
There are two things from Una Brown and Gage Brown that I love so much in their free dance. I mean, their free dance is just such a good
It's so
program,
good. Yeah.
but the choreo slide is amazing. It reminds me
Mm.
of last year when Le Paris Brissot did their choreographed
Oh
slide,
yeah. Uh-huh.
where she basically is in like a single knee position
Mhm.
and like kicks her leg above him and
Yeah.
like I mean talk about core strength.
Yeah.
And then in their character step, one of the most effective character steps of the season, she flips him over and he does a front flip. She basically is like, like a
Yeah.
wrestling move kind of
Yeah.
thing, but it was very elegantly done. Um,
She flips him over the table.
yeah,
Flip your brother by his neck.
and then she kills him at the end. I mean, there's so much happening in this program.
I I know that they're like an outside contender for the Olympic team, but that program would be so fun in Milan. It's very Italian too.
Italian American.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Like
and,
as Italian as American made cannolis.
Gage Brown wasn't the only athlete who spilled blood onto the ice at this
Oh,
competition.
I guess we're segueing to the men. Let's go. Andreas Nordebach.
Mm, that was crazy. And
I mean,
I I didn't see they didn't show it on the feed, but I saw on Twitter
nobody
that
saw it.
there were people out there with brooms in
Yeah.
between each person trying to scrape his blood off the ice. There was so much of it. How did he hurt
Uh,
his hand in warm up?
Andreas came Nordebach
Mhm.
with a bandaged hand.
Mhm.
My guess is he somehow like sliced his hand,
Mm.
like during like when he put his hand down on on a
Mm.
jump or something,
Mm.
because that's the kind of freak accident that leads to that. I mean, one, they were scraping blood off the ice. Two, nobody seems to have seen it.
Yeah.
Three, he was like the Walter Virtanen's scores were delayed because they were bandaging his hand.
Mm.
And then four, he was bleeding so much, I think he was lightheaded at the end of the program. I I really
Blow the whistle.
I really did not think the referee should have let him skate with that kind of
No.
injury.
Although I'm remembering remember when Megan Duhamel cut it was Eric Radford, right? She cut his hand or was it Craig Button? One of them, one of Duhamel's partners. She raised her back, like her leg back in a spiral and cut his hand on warm up. And they went out to do their free skate and her dress was covered in his blood by the end of it. Covered.
I cannot.
Oh, that happened.
It's so much. And he goes out and skates one of the best programs he's skated all season.
Yeah. That's
Talk
good.
about someone who works well with distraction.
Mhm.
I stand by my word that I don't think he should have been allowed to skate
I know,
for
where
his
was
own safety.
Dr. Walter Vertinen when we needed
I
him?
know, it's
He was in the
like
Kiss and Cry.
would have been hilarious if he like sprinted out there and like performed CPR or something. I mean, there's also, I think Sweden has specific rules. The Swedish Olympic Committee has specific
Mm,
rules on um, points that you need to score. I mean, I
mm,
think Andreas was very, very much like, I need to do this program.
mhm,
Um, so I don't know. It felt a little reckless, if
mhm,
I'm being honest. Um, okay, well, the men's event, besides the blood that was spilled on the ice, was all over the place once again, and even skaters who we thought would not be all over the place, i.e. Yuma Kakiyama, were
mhm,
all over the place.
mhm.
Um, he ended up winning rightfully because it was just such a crazy competition, but I don't think I would have expected these words to come out of my mouth ever. But the two cleanest skates were by the two Canadian men.
Yeah, they were. I mean, crazy things can happen. I Steven Gogolev's short program was out of this world. He skated that like he was the protagonist in a, like, I don't know, like, British crime movie directed by Guy Ritchie and with that, like, hip hop editing. He was so on in that program, I, like, finally got it. I got the suit. I got
Did you? Did
I
you get
got
the
it.
suit?
I was there for it because he's supposed to be so unassuming at the beginning. You don't even think about it, you know? Maybe Mark telling the story of the program helped me get into it, but I was like, "Where did this come from?" It was awesome.
Mark doing the skating lord's work with
Yeah, he
his
is.
descriptions. Yeah, Steven Gogolev with the bronze
Mhm.
medal. I mean, we talked about this in the previous show. Gogolev and Sadovsky have been head to head now 4 times this season. Roman Sadowski won one of them handily. Steven
Mhm.
Gogolev won another one handily. They were basically tied in their last Grand Prix. And now Steven Gogolev wins by 10 points here
Mhm.
at Finlandia. And Roman Sadowski skated pretty well too.
Really
Like
well. He was 4th. Mhm.
both of them have been very consistent this season. And I would say Steven has a slight edge going into Canadian Nationals, but it is really whoever wins Canadian Nationals is gonna go to the Olympics. Um as Michelle whispers Keegan into the microphone, it will be very interesting. And also, what we didn't talk about with Warsaw Cup was Wesley Chu is back,
Mm.
but he's not quite back yet. He's
Mm.
still struggling with the jumps after a long injury layoff. So lots to potentially see with the Canadian men. Okay, let's go to the actual top two here. Yuma Kagiyama wins
Mhm.
it with a 270, which he wanted to score over 300 points
Mhm.
here, and he was 30 points away from that. A lot because he fell on the quad sow, which
Mhm.
is his money jump in the short program, and
Mhm.
then he had a kind of a brain fart in the free skate. It was going so well. The first half
Yeah.
was phenomenal.
He had a Midori Ito moment.
Yeah, I mean, he had a Deanna Stellato almost moment where he stepped into the three turn for his quad toe and just like slipped a little bit and mistimed
Yeah.
it and didn't pick in. And so he basically turned out of it and was like, I don't have any more room here. And then
Triple
he
flip.
went and did a triple flip and almost fell into the camera,
Mhm.
and stepped out of the triple flip. And so without that, he didn't have the triple flip, triple loop that he planned. So that was
Mhm.
points off. And then he went to the other side where he was supposed to have done the triple flip and tried to do a quad toe and then fell on that and
Mhm.
then stepped out of the triple axle double toe. Like basically because of that mental lapse or the just like the fluke
Mhm.
trip on the quad toe setup, he lost like 20 points out of that. And so,
Mhm.
um, still, it was still the best set of programs of the whole event. Adam Xiao was not a complete disaster, but he ends up with a silver, but he did like his free skate was just all over the place. I think he had
Yeah.
two clean jumps in the
He
entire
was
thing.
really bleeding points on
Yeah,
every element.
the
Mhm.
continued theme of bleeding, but this is metaphorical. Um, GOE bleeding.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost probably 30 points
Yeah.
from just like not getting all the jumps in
Mhm.
as cleanly as they should have been. So I'm probably exaggerating on the 30 points, but it was a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
points.
When he does his jumps well, they're beautiful, and
Yeah,
it's like to get negative GOE on them, that's a big hit
yeah,
on all the different jumps he tries.
yeah, totally. And then, of course, Jason Brown had a golden opportunity or a silver opportunity that he did not take,
Mhm.
um, and just had trouble with his triple axel in the free skate and ends up fifth. And so Yuma Kagiyama and Adam Xiao, as expected, go to the Grand Prix final. And it was Daniel Grossel as opposed
Crazy.
to with 20 points.
The Pope. The
The
Pope
Pope is
himself.
the Pope is going to the Grand Prix
Yeah.
final. Um, Jason needed to be silver,
Mhm.
and he could have been looking at these
Yeah.
scores.
He
He
could
could have
have
been
he could have
easily silver. He could
won
have
this
won
event.
this whole thing.
Yeah.
If he would have been clean, he would have won the whole thing. So I don't know. We'll see. You know, Jason's always in the last couple of seasons, he's been a late season skater,
Mhm.
and so he's got 7 weeks to get it together for U.S. Nationals.
He's really been telegraphing his triple axles this season. I feel like it's gotten longer. Um, and I think that might be part of what threw him off in the free skate.
Can we please change the free skate? Like he is one of those
Yeah.
like he cannot have his last season be this free skate that is like it never goes anywhere.
Yeah. Bring
And
Sinnerman back.
Jason Brown is trying his darndest with this material, and if Jason Brown can't bring this material alive,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Maybe he could
Um,
bring back his Riverdance free skate, and then he could have both
Riverdance Part
programs.
One and
Yeah.
Riverdance Part Two,
Yeah.
and then he just comes back with his
Yeah.
2014 costume
Yeah. There you go.
and a fake ponytail.
Fake ponytail.
Jason Brown, we got it for you. Get a wig, fake ponytail, and we'll go wear your 2014 costume and do Riverdance for your second
Yeah.
program.
He should bring the Impossible Dream back. That would be great.
I any
He
of
had it
them,
for a while. It's so comfortable on him.
any of them. Bring back the
Mm.
piano. I love that piano program. Um, so Jason Brown was fifth. Okay, I want to talk about the Italian men. This is going to be a very
Okay.
long episode. The a few weeks ago, we had some intel from our friend Nikolai Memola, from our other friend Nick McCarville, where Nikolai Memola basically said, "Okay, it is for the Olympics, it is just literally you add up the scores. It's two internationals and Italian nationals, and one of the international competitions can be
Mhm.
substituted by an Italian test gate. It's a little different than that. I actually finally found the rules online. And so it's fairly similar to what he was saying, except if it is not a Grand Prix event, the event, whatever it is, whether it's a challenger or if it's an Italian test skate, that gets multiplied by a factor of 0.95.
Mm.
So it doesn't change the current standings quite that much, right? The standings are still what we thought it was, which was Danielle Grossel with a comfortable lead, and then Memola and Matteo Rizzo in a fairly similar position. But because the two competitions that both Rizzo and Memola are counting right now outside of Italian nationals are counted with a factor of 0.95, they are actually closer than we thought they were going into
Mm.
Italian nationals. Now, the other thing is there's another Italian test skate coming up this week, which Rizzo and Memola are going to be at. So another chance for them to separate themselves a little bit from the rest of the competition.
One of them
No,
has to break away and pull ahead. Come on.
or we just go in with a nail biter.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is not as simple as just adding up the points. There's a
Mhm.
clause in the rules that states that um, after Italian nationals, they will be the Olympic roster will be the top two based on the points,
Mm.
plus and then and then the substitutes based on the points. But if the point total of the skaters are less than 30 points apart, the technical commission reserves the right to send up a substitute or propose the one of the substitutes goes instead of
Interesting.
yeah,
So Grassel's pretty much the only one who's locked,
that
and the other ones
for now
really
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Um, now it would be I think it would be a huge controversy for them to be
Yeah.
doing something like that, but who knows? The they did say that ISU world rankings
Mhm.
will be taken into account for that, and
Oh, come on.
currently the season's world ranking for Rizzo is a little bit higher than for Memela.
Rizzo's been competing for, like, 3 Olympic cycles.
I mean, yeah,
I just wanna say that I wouldn't wanna be the person who denies Nikolai Memela an Olympic spot and then has to face Barbara Fusar-Poli, who's choreographer and, longtime second to mom. I mean, I
longtime death starer
Yeah. I mean,
Barbara
he's known her since
Fusar-Poli.
he was, like, an infant. He used to do ballroom dancing with her daughter. So,
Well, let's just say it is not as simple as what we thought it was,
interesting, very
and there's a
interesting.
little bit of complexity to it.
Mhm,
Uh, we will see what happens. Italian nationals is in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So that will be this will be a tense month for everybody over there.
mhm,
Um, but that is also to say, Laranaki Gutman's standing is fairly good now,
mhm,
especially given that she's now had two 200-point plus programs. And then, same thing with the pairs with Conti Machi and with
mhm,
Gilardi Ambrosini and Ginyard Fabry are like, there's
mhm,
no way they're not getting on the Olympic team. So really the intrigue is going to be with the men.
mhm.
All right, the men. Let's talk about the pairs.
'Kay.
Because pairs was really good.
Well, it was
Some of it
close.
was. Some of it was
It
really
was
good.
close. The teams that I really wanted to well, the team that I really wanted to see skate well didn't have the best performance in the short. So that I mean, Nagaoka and Miraguchi, who I love, they were better in the free skate.
Yeah.
But, I really was hoping they could get on the podium here, but they kinda took themselves out early with mistakes in the short.
This was like
Mhm,
somewhere in between what they've been
mhm,
doing, right? Like it's
mhm,
either been they've been totally on or they've been totally off. And here
mhm.
it's like this was an average competition for them. And it's good to
Yeah,
see that an average competition for them gets them a 193.
yeah, that's true.
You know,
Mhm.
they get their act together and boy, they are ready for like they are going to be
World
ready for the
podium.
world podium.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those things where, after the Olympics, if people retire and that kind of stuff, like, they could very well be in the mix there.
Mhm,
Be kind of interesting. But, they've got the next 4 years to establish themselves.
mhm,
That's the 2030 Olympic favorites, right?
mhm.
Um, now, Efimova, Mitrofanov, probably the skates of their life. I think better than what they did at Boston.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I was thinking Boston maybe with the crowd and everything,
Yeah,
but they skated really well.
they skate really well.
The free skate, I've never seen Elisa get the jumps around like that with the height. It was really interesting. It was just
Yeah.
sort of like how she pulled that out. Yeah, they skated really well.
It's so much
Um,
with timing for her because I've
mm,
seen her do that in practice, and I'm like, "Oh,
mhm,
yeah, you could do these."
mhm,
And I think there's something with competition, and she just gets a little bit quick on the tap
mm,
or a little bit quick on the edge pull on the sow, and it
mhm,
doesn't go. And here it worked. Her
mhm.
jumps are always a little bit wonky. It reminds me a little bit of Mandy Wurzel back in the day, where it's like you're just hoping and praying
Yeah.
she lands on the ice. They're not like technique wise, they're not as bad as Mandy Wurzel's
Mhm,
jumps
mhm.
were.
Yeah.
But it is one of those like when she does it,
Mhm.
she does it.
Yeah. It's just not that often, you
Yeah.
know?
Cam and O'Shea, Ellie Cam with a costume malfunction right before
Yeah.
she gets on the ice, and Marie France had to go and sew her back together because I think there was probably a zipper malfunction
Mhm,
there.
mhm.
The fact that she didn't let that bother her, and it was, and I think, look, jumps, solo jumps aside, she landed her throws. Like that's
Yeah.
a big deal for her.
Yeah, they skated with some attack at this competition,
Yeah,
and, yeah, I was, like, pleasantly surprised to see them
yeah.
fighting.
It very much like going into nationals, we are probably looking at these two as the favorites, but
Yeah.
you
Their
never
free
know.
skate their free skate is still so strange. It's such an odd compilation of music, but, I mean, if you only, like, pay attention to the moment you're in and you don't think about it as, like, a whole piece, it's like, "Oh, okay." It's like it feels like 3 short programs.
Sweet dreams into Eleanor
Eleanor
Rigby
Rigby.
into everybody wants to
Yeah,
rule the world.
yeah. It's odd, but,
They're all sorta they're also all sorta like emo-ish.
yeah.
Hasse wins it.
Mhm.
Arguably, should Efimova and Mitrofanov have won it?
I don't know if I'd go that far. I'm a little concerned about Hassa and Volodine not being as consistent, or there's just sort of like a spark missing, and these weird mistakes. And I feel like their quality is so high that they can make those and still, win believably win a competition. But like I'm curious what's going on and why it's kind of striking them this season after kind of 2 really strong years.
I continue to have the thought that they need to go back to 4 seasons for their free skate.
Yeah, I don't like their
The
free skate.
the
It's
free
kind of
skate
sleepy.
the free skate, similar to what we were saying with Jason Brown, it never
Mhm.
really builds,
Mhm.
and 4 seasons last year was such a vehicle for them, and there was a strength, there was a, like,
Mhm.
intensity to that program that you
Mhm.
don't see with this free skate, and
Mhm.
I feel like they sort of because of the music, they just sort of never get to a point where they look like they are really assertive
Yeah,
in
for
the way
sure.
that they're skating. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, the way that these last couple of competitions have gone for Hasse Volodin, like,
Mhm.
I don't quite see them in the conversation for Olympic gold as much
Agree.
as
And
earlier in the season or last season.
end of last season, I would have been like, they're going to win the Olympics. And now I'm just like, I hope they can get on the podium,
Right.
but we'll see what happens with these performances they've been having.
Yeah. They still make it to the Grand Prix final, and I
Hmm.
think what will be interesting is how these 6 pairs get scored across the board. I mean, I
Yeah.
think, you have the right 6 pairs going to the Grand Prix final, and with the exception of maybe a continued improved Sui and Han, right?
Hmm.
This really is the fight for especially the top 5, the fight for the Olympic podium. And it will be very interesting to see who gets the upper hand at Grand Prix final
Hmm.
for the pairs. The women,
This was supposed to be one of the bloodiest events of this site, the circuit. Like this was so stacked, and there
this
was
recurring theme of blood,
I don't know
Michelle.
why. I don't know why I'm doing this today. But I think there were a lot of issues that people had in this competition that kind of took them out of contention. And it was just kind of interesting and ended up kind of being a like top 2 versus who can get bronze. Whereas I thought this was really kind of gonna be a crazy fight for all of the medals.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
It started with Luna Hendricks getting some kind of stomach
Yes.
bug,
Yeah.
and she was saying she basically she couldn't eat.
Yeah.
I
She
think
felt so weak.
yeah, I think a lot of this, if I'm being honest, like, I think she was like, "Let's give it a shot in the short program," because
Mhm.
I think she had Grand Prix Final aspirations, like,
Mhm.
if she could just grit through it and do a good short program, maybe there's some kind of miracle that could happen.
Mhm.
She fell twice in the short program, and she was like, "See you later, this is not
I wanna
worth
go
it."
home.
Yeah. Like, I think if she would have skated a good short program, she
Mhm.
would have tried the free
Mhm.
skate, but, um, given that, 1, like, it doesn't really matter anymore
Mhm.
given her Grand Prix final shot was completely gone,
Mhm.
and, like, she just felt like death,
Yeah.
during the week. Good choice for her to just be like, "I don't need this."
Yeah.
Um,
I live
a
nearby. I'm gonna go
yeah.
home.
And then
Short flight.
Belgian nationals was just the return of Nina
Yeah.
Pinzerone, like,
Yeah.
um, going to the Olympics, it's fine.
Yeah.
So that's where it started,
Mhm.
and
And
then it
then
continued.
Rion Sumiyoshi.
Oh my goodness.
She made that mistake. It was her flip, right? She, like, stepped out of it, and it was
Yep,
like, oh, because it felt like she was really focusing, like, she's like, "I'm gonna do a good short program here,"
yep.
because she's more of a free skate skater, and she stepped out of her flip, and then she had that weird slip on her blade in the steps where she just, like, f I mean, heads feet over head fall.
Those
It
are the
was
worst falls. They
yeah,
really, like,
yeah, it
oh,
reminded me once I slipped in the lobby of the ABC building and I fell on my tailbone and I was sore for weeks. And I was like, this poor girl, she has to do a free skate in this condition and then go to Japanese
yeah.
nationals.
It's very much like the very cartoon slipping on the banana
Yes.
peel kind of thing, which is basically what happens, right?
Yeah.
Because at that point, your body weight is so far behind you that you have
Mhm.
lost all conception of friction
Mhm.
on your blade, and it
Mhm.
just goes, and, like, there's nothing you can do about it, and you have no idea how to brace yourself for the fall, and
Yeah.
it's awful. I mean, Michael Parsons had that
Yeah.
in his Twizzles in that
Mhm.
freak fall where he, like, broke his pelvis, exaggerated, but
Tweaked.
tweaked his pelvis. I would not be surprised if Rion Sumiyoshi, like, takes a few days off because,
Yeah.
like, this is not gonna feel good for a
Yeah.
bit, but,
Her crying in the kiss and cry was so
oh,
sad. I felt so bad for her.
I mean, and the crying is, like, partly because of the program, but also in big part because she's like, "Oh, no Olympic spot," like,
Yeah. No
she
final.
she came in
Mhm.
here wanting to get into the final, which
Mhm.
would have been a big boon to her chances at getting to the Olympics. They're not gone, um, but they're just, the Olympics or the Grand Prix final berth would have been m very helpful
Yeah.
for her, and then she didn't really get it back together for the free skate, not surprisingly,
No.
given she's probably still hurting.
Yeah, some bad
Um,
falls in there.
yeah, some weird falls in
Weird.
there.
Yeah.
The Let me going back to that, step sequence fall. If you slowed it down, what ended up happening was that her left toe pick basically went into the lip of her right boot. Like, she
Ooh.
just like, it was it she basically tripped on herself. And then because of that, she was trying to compensate for the weight distribution and then overcompensated and went backwards, and then
Mhm.
there it went. Like, it was such a freak fall. And that step sequence was so beautiful up
Mhm.
until then. Like, it was like
Mhm.
it was low-y, it was flowy, it was
Mhm.
like, all the things that Rion Sumiyoshi can give you, and it was all there. So she ends up 7th. Maddie Schizas with a return, and we talked about how
Mhm.
Sarah Dupuis got a 185 at Warsaw Cup. Maddie Schizas gets a 188.6 here,
Crazy.
so
And she
now
didn't even skate that well. I
no.
mean, it was just,
It was
you know
better.
Yeah.
It was better than she has. I mean, this is the best competition she's had all season in
Yeah.
both programs. She
Mhm.
went back to the Lion King, which
Mhm. That's a good
I
idea.
a good idea, but also, like, what happened to the whole, like, how much money does it cost to do The
I
Lion King? They're like,
I
"Hmm,
feel like that's one where you take the chance because Elton John is not gonna stand for his music publisher or whoever going after a figure skater because he clearly loves skating.
Elton."
I mean, I have faith in Sir Elton John. I feel like he's gonna be kind to Maddie Skeezus using The Lion King. He's gonna love it.
Maybe Manny Skeezus is friends with Elton John.
And now Nathan Chen is.
So Maddie Skeezus gets 5th here.
Mhm.
I mean, had she done a triple triple toe, she would have been
In the
she could
190s.
have even been on the podium.
Yeah, the way things went.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she was close.
Brady Tennell 4th, a lot of under rotations
Oh, but
and
every jump.
rotation issues,
Yeah.
although she was very happy with it,
Mhm.
given I think she just wants to put down some
Mhm.
skates where she feels like she gave it all she could, and that's where she went.
Mhm.
Rino Matsuke gets the bronze,
Glorious free skate.
even with
Glorious.
even with her underscored components, she gets the
How
bronze.
on earth is she getting those component scores? Like, if that girl doesn't get 9s for skating skills, what are skating skills? Like, what are you guys watching?
I just don't understand.
It's
Nobody understands.
her edge work is magnificent, and, the words that Laurie Nickel told Mark Hanready because he does his homework so well, he reached out to Laurie Nickel for comments and on Reno, and she said that she's kind, and what else did he say? And it was just so beautiful, and it was just like, "I feel it, I feel it."
What's interesting is I remember when Rina Matsuke first came on the scene as a junior, and I was like, "Why are you all overscoring her?" And now I'm like, "Why are you all underscoring her?" Like, I
Give
like,
her the
what
components she
what
deserves.
what is happening here?
Yeah.
Like,
Losing in components to Brady Tennell is just like, what's happening? What are components?
what are
Like,
they? What are they?
I mean, I would say she should have been at least 2nd in overall PCS in this event in the free skate. Maybe 1. Anyway.
Anyway, skating skills.
But fortunately,
Monet
she got the bronze medal,
She
so
did. Monet Chiba wins it, 217,
mhm,
basically her ties her best score of the season. I think her best score
mhm,
was like a 217.29 or something, and she got
mhm.
217.22 is basically the best thing that she's done. She had a couple of cues in her free skate. I thought the first lets should have been called. This panel, I will also say, this panel, had it been a different panel here, there would have been a lot more that were called unders or cues.
Mhm.
It's once again one of those things where uh, depending on who comes in and thinks that this is on the quarter or just below
Yeah.
a quarter, like that's.
They really use it selectively, and it's frustrating.
But this was, I would say, across the board, this was fairly consistent for this group. But agreed. I mean, it's like, but that's also my whole thing about under rotations and cues is that
Mhm.
they try to make it so precise. It's like the whole definition of a cue is it is exactly on a quarter. And it's like, what does exactly mean?
Yeah.
Exactly means something different to everybody, apparently. Um, because like, how do you like you can't measure that.
Yeah.
So
I would support, an amendment to the Constitution to remove the Q from skating. Just have under rotations and downgrades, and an under rotation will be a half to a quarter.
yeah, and just take the cue out of the
Yeah,
the, the thing altogether. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you just have to say more than a quarter up to a half is
Yeah.
a under rotation.
Right.
A half or more is downgrade.
I would be fine with that as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
Um, but that also that the problem with that, right, is it also means that the people who think a quarter is over a quarter are going to
Mhm,
automatically give the under rotation call as opposed to a Q call, which is also
mhm.
unfair. And then
Well,
of course there's like all this stuff about
yeah,
like, well, AI is going to come in. And like Mark was talking about
please,
how
no. Please.
AI, plenty of talk about AI hallucinations. Let's not go there.
I want the judges to evaluate rotation rather than the panel. So, like, if you have a jump that gets really high GOE right off the bat, and then it gets called as a Q, and then all the judges go and lower their GOE. That's like 1 or 2 people see the quarter and, like, everyone else doesn't. There's a lot more people judging than there are calling. And, I mean, their naked eye right there on the ice, they don't see it. I don't think it should be called.
You're also assuming that all the judges have the same technical proficiency.
They should.
They should, I agree.
I mean, I'm not even
They should.
I'm not a judge, and I feel like I watch enough skating to see this.
They should. A comment for a different time. Amber Glenn gets silver um, due to an bad pick in on triple Lutz,
Mhm,
and then she didn't pick in for a double toe, and then she never did her double toe. Amber Glenn, if you are listening, please do all your combos because you lost some
mhm.
precious points on that one. I kept being like Damon Allen needed to just scream double toe to her. Like she just needed to tack on a double toe to one of those things. Now, it didn't end up making a difference because she lost by 3.5 points, and a
Mhm,
double toe is like a point and a half.
mhm,
Um, but still, like
mhm.
she could have made it close. But that's also to say, I think there's something about this season that for Amber has been another positive sign. I think last year she was having trouble closing out the last couple of jumps. The
Mhm,
year before, she was having a lot of trouble just doing the second half, right?
mhm.
Like and then this year, it's like the second half has been fine and the closing has been fine. And the fact that she made a mistake and came back and skated the rest of the program very well, those are great signs about where her mental state is in these programs.
Yeah,
So, um, you know, it was a silver, but I would call that a win for her in a lot of
mhm.
ways.
Yeah. I was delighted to see Ida Karhunen for the first time. I'd never seen her before, and she is lovely.
And the first thing you saw her do is blink to the music.
Yeah.
Blink,
There
blink,
she
blink,
has
blink, blink.
some blink choreography, some weird jump technique, and some very creative spin positions, and I like her very much.
Her jump technique reminds me of Jana Jyrkinen.
I can't picture that, but, I'm sure you're right. I think it reminds me of, like, girls who aren't Finnish, because I usually expect the Finnish skaters to have really good jump technique, but
Yeah, well, and Jana Jyrkinen is one of those who had like that sort
mm,
of Russian-y
yeah, I
technique.
was gonna say it looks Russian.
It's
Yeah.
a little bit Russian-y. She also has a triple flip, triple loop, Ida
Wow.
Karhunen. Um, but
I think she's
hopefully,
gonna be the Olympian.
I think so too.
Mhm.
It feels like she's got the consistency this season. She's certainly got the
Yeah.
difficulty versus everybody else.
Love the tutu
Um,
as well. I love a triple, triple combo in a tutu. It's delightful. I think, like, the spin positions, it's sort of like I feel like I'm so used to seeing everyone spins when I see something new, it's like, "Oh, that's interesting." I love the way she, like, pulled in on her, like, catch foot layback was really cool, and she had, like, an interesting twist in her camel position, and,
I
it
think
was refreshing.
that was all Adam Silya choreography.
Mm. It works on
So
her.
yeah, yeah. Adam Silya, there's a bit of his choreography is a little bit like Benoit Richaud's choreography, where
Mhm.
it's like you can sometimes spot it from a mile away, but then for certain skaters, it's like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, that really works really well.
Mhm. Totally. I like the work he did with her. I wish Luna would go to someone else because I've seen enough, Soya on her, but, nobody asked me, so
I do think her two programs this year, Luna's,
mhm.
have been an improvement for
Mm.
her. So all right, well, thank you for still being here. If you're still here for this extra long episode, because we had so much to talk about with Finlandia Trophy. There was a lot. Michelle, dare I ask, what are you obsessed about this week?
I was gonna say Ida Karhunen. She's probably my number 2 of the week. I think number 1 would be Rino Matsuke's beautiful, beautiful skating and her beautiful forward outside edge that she holds magnificently. But, yeah,
I
how about you?
I don't know. There are so many
Yeah.
things that are still in my brain. I was also saying that yesterday
Mhm.
I took a post Finlandia coma nap in the afternoon, and I dreamt that Gabby Papadakis asked me to design a building for her, and I panicked because I have not been an architect for about 10 years, and I don't know how to design buildings anymore, or at least I don't have enough reps
That's
anymore.
okay.
Um, and then she kept asking me questions, and I was sweating. I was sweating in my dream.
So that's, like, not what would happen in real life. You'd be so psyched. You'd be like, "Oh, well, that's
I know.
funny because I'm an architect. I can actually build one for you.
It's my
Let's talk about it."
it's my imposter syndrome in my dream. Um, okay, that wasn't what I was obsessed about. I am still obsessed with Tashlerova and Tashler doing their rhythm dance with music that was 4 months old.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So,
figuring out the beats in, like, real
uh,
time.
I mean, like, if it were a single skater and they got a different piece of music, it's like,
Mhm.
fine, they'll just improvise and figure it out because
Mhm.
that's what you do. In ice dance, everything is so, especially in the rhythm
Mhm.
dance, everything is so prescribed to the music and to the phrasing of the music and to what
Mhm.
the music cuts are and to the beats and all that stuff that I don't know how they pulled that off without it seeming obvious that they had no idea what was going on.
Mhm.
They basically had to switch their brain back to like over the summer when they first cut
Mhm.
this music because this was a music cut from July that was playing and
Oh my god.
and fit their current choreography into that and make it all work.
Yeah.
Kudos to them for being able to do that. I mean,
I was also very entertained by the little tantrum they threw at the end of the program.
I
That
know.
was fun.
Sh
Natalie throwing her
she looked
arms
at
up like,
she
What's
looked
wrong
at
with
the
you?"
music operator and being
Yeah.
like, "I told you to change it.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happened?" All right. That's it.
Okay.
That's
We
it
could
for
do
this
another
week.
hour on this
We could
crazy weekend.
we could do so much more.
Mhm.
Um, okay, well, the Grand Prix is over,
Kind of.
kind of. We have the Grand Prix final coming in
Mhm.
2 weeks. The stage is set. We will see if there's anything that happens with substitutions. I feel like every year there's always like one substitution that happens. Um, so just to give you an idea of who the substitutes are, first alternate for the men, Kazuki Tomono. First
Mhm.
alternate for the women, Isabel Levito. First alternate for the pairs, Sui and Han. First alternate for dance, Lejoie Lega. So um, they're probably all, I'm guessing all of them except for Sui and Han are going to Golden Spin.
Kazuki Tomono needs to spend this time getting a new free skate or going back to
Or
an old
going back
one.
to an old free skate.
Mhm.
We need an episode about which free skates we would like people to get rid of. Because we've talked about that.
Go shopping. Yeah.
Uh, look, on the subject of Kazuki, I still really like that free skate. He just needs
No.
to skate it clean.
He can do it for the gala.
He can do it for the gala.
Do it for the gala. We need something else. It's like he needs like a beat. He needs like really attention getting met music to inspire
He
him.
he needs a distraction at the beginning of the program.
Mhm.
That's what he needs. Because
Like someone saying, "The Pope is dead."
Kazuki Tomono skating to Conclave, the disco version.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was really disappointed no one did those, like, Gregorian chants from the '90s for their rhythm dance, and they could have worn hoods like Olivia Smart has.
Like
That would've been so good.
like Enigma.
Yeah, but there was that one, it was like the Gregorian monks, and it was like a
Oh
remix of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. The Pope is dead.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have Talon Cup or Talon Trophy coming up this weekend.
Mhm.
And then we've got Grand Prix Final, like very, very fast. All of these things are going very, very fast. And if you didn't see my post on Twitter, 1 week to Talon Trophy, 2 weeks to Grand Prix Final and Golden Spin, 4 weeks to Italian nationals, Japanese nationals, French nationals, 5 weeks to Chinese nationals, 7 weeks to Canadian and American nationals, 8 weeks to Europeans, 9 weeks to 4 continents, and 11 weeks to the Olympics. With the exception of 3 of those weeks, we have huge competitions every single weekend until the Olympics.
Wow. That's a lot
I
of skating.
it's a lot of skating, and Michelle and I are going to be so worn out by the time the Olympics come around.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's okay, because that's what we trained for. This is our Olympics. Well, so much skating to come. And Michelle and I are going to go heads down to figure out what our podcasting schedule is going to be like over the next couple of months, because we're gonna have a lot to cover. So, and that's including all of these like national competition scenarios and all the
Olympic team selection.
Olympic team selections, like
Mhm.
so many things that are going to happen. And I know you all are interested. I know everybody wants to talk about it. I know everybody wants to know about it. And nobody wants to go into nationals being like, but this person got a whatever medal. They should have been on the team. And it's like,
Mhm.
no, look at the criteria. Um, because we know that's happened before.
Mhm.
So lots to come. Thank you for joining us. As always, this podcast is sponsored by John Wilson Blades and all its brands. And Michelle Ellis, thank you for continuing to be the one nerding out with me, because it's so exciting to do this every single week with you.
Thanks. Same. Ditto.
Michelle's like, thank goodness we have so many things to talk about. We have a few actually very cool interviews coming up. Rocker rewatches are happening. So stay tuned for that. And thank you once again to our editor and producer, Tara Nichols. This is an extra long episode. Sorry. I have to
We love
transcribe a
it.
whole bunch of
Please.
stuff.
Oh, sorry to Tara, though. So sorry, Tara.
To Tara.
Sorry, Tara.
Tara's like, I've learned so much.
Yeah.
No, she's like, I know all this stuff already. All right, I'm going to stop talking. This is Jackie Wong, Chief Skate Nerd and often driver of rockerskating.com. We will talk to you again soon. Bye.